Hi everyone, Sarah here. Just jumping in with a quick explanation of this episode. This was more of a conversation than a structured interview where we just let the chat flow. Katie and I took a lot away from this one with invaluable insight about sustainability in retail floristry, what we can do better as growers to support our florists, and a little chat about competition within the industry. Apologies in advance, it is a long one, but we hope our fellow growers benefit from this info and walk away with a reminder on why we all grow flowers in the first place. Enjoy. Hi, I'm Sarah from Quail Cottage.
And I'm Katie from Grown by Lightning Hollows. We're two flower farmers here in Australia, and together we're your bloom mates.
Today we're joined by the lovely Jess and Cait from The Little Garden, a florist shop in Belmont, New South Wales, in Newcastle. Jess, did you want to tell us a bit about the story behind The Little Garden and maybe how the two of you came to be, how you met?
Yeah, absolutely. So our beautiful little store in Belmont was first started by the previous owner, Sam. She was absolutely beautiful person who created this lovely store. And one day I decided that I would love to work alongside her. So I walked on in and just asked if she was hiring. And she said, come back in about like a month or so and we'll see if I've got some extra work for you. And I came back and she just gave me a job on the day and I just started working for her then and there.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the little garden just like took off.
It bloomed.
It really did bloom. Came to a stage where Sam had to pass on the business. She had her two beautiful little boys and wanted to focus on family. And then I just could not think of anything else I would rather be doing than working in this beautiful little flower store. So I decided just to buy it off her, and she let me buy it off her.
I had no idea that you
yeah.
worked there before.
Yeah, I worked there for 3 years before it became mine.
So cool.
Yeah, and I bought it just as we were going into the depths of COVID. We're going into our first lockdowns. And but that was just actually a time where the floral industry was blooming because we were creating this like connection to so many people in our community, and that was definitely the heart of the little garden, was the community and the people and how we were connecting to each other. And then like we were just growing so quickly, and I asked a friend to just help me prep flowers, do whatever she can to get us through. And then she suggested to me this lovely, lively person that she knew growing up in Canada.
I wonder who that could be.
Oh my gosh, who is that?
And I did little scrolling through her Instagram and saw these lovely little arrangements she was making and saw all the potential. And then I met the one and only Cait.
The anonymous Cait. The notorious CAIT.
And me being a bit of an introvert, and then to see just this massive personality walk into my store and how much love she had for flowers and people and connecting to everyone around her. I just had to give her a job straight away and have not looked back.
It was so great.
What year was that?
2020.
That
Like a
year?
couple of months after,
Yeah.
early November.
Every part of the growth of the business has just been like serendipity, just the way things have timed and meeting people, meeting you, why you were in Newcastle in the first place and
For a gig.
for a gig.
And I was like, hey, I'm in
yeah.
Newcastle this weekend. Do you want to meet? Just
Oh,
like, great.
Yeah,
So
because
you didn't live there?
No.
You moved
so-
there for the little garden?
Yeah, like I moved back. So I started in Nui early 2017 for uni. I have a whole ass degree.
we're both florists with degrees.
We're both florists with
what
degrees.
other degrees?
I had, I did sociology, political science, and international relations. I had an internship lined up in 2020 with the UN in Thailand. Obviously, COVID hit. Sorry, this is wild, but COVID hit. And then I was like, well, I can't move to Thailand. I can't move to Bangkok. That's fine. And then I got kicked out of my share house in Lambton. And I was like, what the hell? Moved back in with my parents in Canada. And then I was like, what am I doing with my life? Started a job like casually with this beautiful shop in my hometown, and they had like everything there, and a part of their business was a florist. And my granny was a florist, and she was like, hey, like you can do a traineeship in fashion, interior design, floristry. And I was like, I don't want to do any of the other two, but flowers are beautiful. Then
Wow,
they
that's
let
so
me go.
crazy.
They let me
my
go like a few
God.
months after. And then I just started posting on this Instagram that I built, which was Glimmer and Blooms, and just went to Vinnie's, bought some beautiful vintage vases,
Oh.
foraging. And I remember Jess specifically referencing this one post in the reason that I like piqued her interest. It was like a little Chinese ginger vase that I just like put some wild stuff that I'd found.
So cute.
And yeah, I love that.
Yeah, because
Little
we're both
Vinnie's
obsessed with
number.
our little
Oh,
vintage.
shopping.
Yeah. And now I manage her business.
You do.
Yeah.
Wild. Somehow we manage. It's
Yeah.
just so, but it does tie back into that serendipity, because I feel like we were both at very vulnerable places when we first met. And it's almost like everything up until that point, like, led us to each other. And I know that might sound really like, I don't know,
please.
but
Give me the woo-woo.
seriously,
It is.
no, but it's seriously
Yeah.
like my life
Yeah.
has just like, I feel like I'm the way I am because of Jess. And I am like, I carry myself the way I do because of Jess. And I found like new renewal and love and passion and joy for my life through flowers because of Jess.
You're going to make me
Because of
cry.
the little garden.
Oh, we've cried
Yeah.
so many
God.
times.
Yeah.
It's been like flowers and floristry and growing them is just like, you only do it if you are extremely passionate about it, because there needs to be so much love behind it, and you see it shining through the work that you guys do with your businesses, and I like to think that it's shines through the little garden as well.
Does.
Yeah.
How would you describe your floral style?
Oh, well, definitely the first word that comes to mind, it's like a little bit overused at the moment, but whimsical. We draw from this beautiful history of like what floristry is for us, both in like fairy tales and our grandmother's gardens. And my great grandmother was a florist, and your grandmother was a florist.
Wow.
And, my mum, she was an artist, and
so is mine.
yeah, and that's the degree I have. I've got a Bachelor of Fine Arts, drawing on this like magical imagery that's like found its way into our lives, and then to just express that through the little garden is really special. And then create magic for the people who come into our store who are looking for arrangements for every occasion under the sun, and just looking for just a way of connecting with them through these.
You guys do
Beautiful
retail
flowers.
floristry in such a different way.
Yeah.
I'm glad you agree, and you're not trying to be modest. You totally,
We really do.
you do it in such a different way. The style is so whimsical and organic and wild.
Yeah.
And we don't like overwhelm or oversaturate with material, because what we do is, as in like superficial things that you don't really need. It's an experience.
We don't have
heavily focus on the flowers.
Absolutely.
And like, I mean, naturally, florist shop, that's like what we do. Like Jess cultivating this beautiful vintage collection that is almost an extension of her vision, herself, and her creativity that people enjoy and they adore and they come to us for, right? Like that experience, but also just like the community that we foster. That's something that is a part of the little garden. You purchase a bunch of flowers, you purchase a stem, and you get a conversation, a beautiful smile, and a welcoming shop. Like that's just so beyond.
Overwhelmed by the history of where that particular stem has come from, who grew it.
Who grew it? We literally point, like someone's like, wow, these are beautiful. We've never seen them before. And we say, this is what this flower is. This is who grows it. This is where they're located. This is why we love them so much. And this is why you should put this in a bunch with this and then do this and then come back. Oh, and this time of year is the best way to get these flowers from this person. Like it's just, there's so much. It's not just a stem, it's a story.
We are both so lucky to have you in our world, really, in that sense of like having florists.
You guys started popping up on our Instagrams, and we started making these little connections with you. It was just got so exciting. Like,
but also emotional.
I always knew that the little garden was going to um, hopefully just connect with its immediate community of like who's growing the flowers, where they're actually coming from, and that story of like the seed to stem that we use in our arrangements,
and the people that grew
absolutely
the flowers.
But
yeah
that's so important
yeah
because flowers, when people approach them for celebrations of life, any part of life, good, bad, beautiful, like every part, I think having that lineage of love woven throughout the flowers, like it's these growers, you cultivate them from seed, but to grow in such quality like what you guys produce. We are biased because we bloody love you. Just to have, we almost empower our customers because they sort of think, well, why don't you have, they might come to us and say like, where's the oriental lilies, you guys?
yeah
Where are
where's
the red
germs?
roses? Where the
Where's
germs? What's
yeah.
the baby's breath? And we're like, okay, hold up, listen.
That's definitely part of the little garden as well. Like we've like from early days, we have stuck to our guns on what we are selling and what we are not selling. We are not importing.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
you should clarify that you are a zero imports
Zero
florist.
import. We've been able to cultivate some beautiful relationships and with our Sydney growers and our Newcastle growers, and they just know that we're not going to tolerate anything that's come from abroad, and we want it as local as we possibly can. And that also means it's like only traveled however far just to get to us.
You guys are pretty much even New South Wales only, aren't you?
We try as
Yeah.
best we
Yeah.
can. There are some
Yeah.
things like,
Oh, yeah.
particularly mid-season, if something comes out of state, we're like, well, it's still Australian grown, but it still has travelled this way. And these are from Victoria. That's probably
Yeah.
like, and maybe sometimes Western Australia for
Yeah.
really niche bush flowers from Craig, right?
Which is pretty cool that you guys do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a time when first sort of starting and when I first started that we were still finding our feet.
Yeah.
And then I
Still
remember
learning.
a big turning point was this beautiful florist in Sydney that we found on Instagram. Her name's Florida, and she's now a B certified corporation. She's this incredible florist.
Watch
She
that video.
transformed the way that we operate business. We would take
Definitely.
heed from her market halls. We would take heed from the posts that she put out there in collaboration with Grow Not Sloan. And we were sort of like,
Yeah.
we consumed so many resources from her as like a base point. And we were like, oh my gosh, we know this industry is wasteful. We work with it. We prep flowers. We see the plastic. We see, I remember like early
Way
days,
some of the
we'd
imported
work with
flowers
imported
would react to our
roses.
skin.
And we'd be like sneezing, coughing, we'd get rashes. And we're kind of thinking, wait, we're just prepping them. They're not sitting in our home for 2 weeks. Actually, import roses, let's be real, like a week.
Yeah.
But like, what impact does this have? But also, these have been flown over here. But also, the biosecurity legislation that the government has, these things literally sit up in a Roundup adjacent chemical for like an hour, 2 hours, just to get desensitized. And you can tell because at the markets, they have these stamps, these stickers on flowers, and it's like Desilevito or something. And it means that it's been desensitized and just chucked in this chemical.
Soaked in.
Which Florida like has
She
helped. She helped fight for the labeling of these flowers. So that because for such a long time we didn't even know where flowers came from.
No.
Nothing was labeled. We didn't know if it came from Australia or if it was from if it was imported.
South
and
America, like anywhere. And she was just a real big
one of
point for us.
the-
I remember one day we
yeah.
sat down after work, I think we're having a beer at Lake Mac Yacht Club. And we were just talking about it. And I remember you were like, it's time. And I was like, yeah? And she's like, no, it's time. We're going to sell the cello. We're going to stop importing. We're going to make no excuses. We're going to educate and empower people because this is devastating to the environment. And we
Wow.
have an active role in stopping that.
Yeah.
And even if it's within our small community, we can make that change and empower people to make the right decision, especially when we were in the shopping centre, when we first started. Across the road from us, Coles, imported flowers that were like flown in a refrigerated plane over, just carelessly dumped in buckets for 2 weeks. And people, we'd get it every single day, but people would come to us, look at our pricing, which at that stage was ridiculously competitive. And then and then walking across the road to Coles, getting a $25 bunch that looked like something we'd offer for $45.
Yeah.
Which is still insane. It's like they would be like, well, what's the dealio?
Yeah.
And then we'd be like, this is why we get them, this is what we do. And then they kind of like, and then we start to see these people visit us more because they understand
You've
the impact of
educated.
flowers. Yeah. And that's huge.
Yeah, we definitely found our voice in those early days. Just really like, because we were just so passionate, and to be able to share that with every customer that walked through the door was just really important and satisfying, and just see people's minds change about the flowers that they were purchasing, and to really understand the value of it.
And do you find your customers actually really care about this stuff when you talk to them about it?
Absolutely. Yeah. To be able to talk to them about every stage of where the stems that are in their arrangement, where they have come from seed to in their bunch. So repeating myself there. To be able to communicate that with them and see their eyes light up and this connection grow between the reason why they're purchasing the flowers, and then where the history of that flower and where it has come from, who's grown it, and the passion at every step of the way. They absolutely love that, and it's so nice to be able to see that and to see that grow within them, and to see them come back time and time again, and then they'll be like, oh, now then they have that connection, and they know that coming back into the shop, and even take that to other florists they go to is really special.
And it's such a positive experience for them to have. I feel like anytime we have like a particularly positive experience, not just like a, you know, a fine experience, your customers will come back to you over and over again because of that.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely not gatekeeping our passion and our knowledge.
Holy cow, no way.
Yeah, we have been able to discover so many incredible growers and connect with them and grow beautiful relationships. And we are just sharing that with everyone that comes into the door. And we would absolutely love that, to keep on growing and keep on sharing and keep on educating about what we're doing. We're doing something special, and so we're going to be telling everyone about
like
it.
It's not just a bunch of flowers.
Yeah.
It's the story and it's the passion, and it's not just a retail store. It's not just a flower shop. It's community, and it's grounded in love and hard work.
There is definitely customers who come in who are just, they do have that connection, and they're just like, what have you got this week?
Yeah, almost excited to
really
celebrate the
yeah.
seasons.
Yeah.
That's
sweet.
cool.
Yeah.
What are your favourite flowers to buy directly from farms?
That is probably one of the hardest questions ever.
It's a loaded question.
Very
Katie.
loaded question.
Okay, maybe are there certain things that you want to get like very local as opposed to from Sydney?
Okay, I understand.
Yeah. Like, are there any that-
Roses.
Yeah.
Guys,
No.
it's so
I
hard
guess-
with roses.
Yeah, like
This is
you guys have definitely been really incredible in listening to the things that we get really excited about and what we really want to sell. Oh, I don't
It's
know.
so hard.
It's so
I was-
seasonal as well.
Yeah.
Like I remember we'd buy those buckets from you earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And you'd just like give us, we'd buy 3 buckets of just
Anything.
seasonal everything.
Yeah.
It was so joyous and exciting to have those arrive in store.
Such
It would have been like a surprise.
No,
actually.
it's
really
serious.
was.
It's really interesting because I haven't actually ever asked you guys how you found them, and because I
Love
never
it.
saw you in person at that stage, could Sarah
Yeah.
would deliver them.
Yeah.
And so I honestly I don't know
I
how
know,
you
we
felt
would just
about
be
them.
like picking through the buckets and being like, oh my God.
It would probably take us, like we're pretty quick at prepping flowers. You know, you get them in, you condition them, you put them in water, you put them on the bar.
Not your
It's
flowers.
no,
sorry.
it takes
You
so
guys
long.
got some pretty cool and special stuff because you would just buy by the bucket and not by
Yeah.
the bunch
Yeah.
from us. You would literally say anything that is retail friendly,
Yeah.
just stick it in a bucket.
Please.
We would be able to give you like 3 stems of something.
Yeah.
Which meant that you got the special stuff that we just grew mainly for ourselves in our
Yeah.
garden.
Yes.
Because we didn't have a lot of it, we couldn't sell to florists. So you got some really cool
We
stuff.
really
Absolutely.
did. Yeah.
Like, definitely having that flexibility as well, because the arrangements that we make are very like custom and thoughtful. That lets us be able to have these like unique little one-off pieces that will be perfect for someone's bunch, and we'll be able to pass it on to just the right customer. So we don't
have recipes.
We do definitely have recipes.
You wouldn't think it looking at your Instagram, so you do that very well.
We don't make life too easy for ourselves.
Because we love flowers so much. When we get those incredible buckets from you guys and you're like, hey, I put some of this in there, and it's 3 stems of the most incredible and intricate flower. We've never seen it before. We've got Google Lens out because none of us really know what it is. But it's like, what the heck? Someone comes in, almost an extension of what you were saying earlier, like from seed to stem, the customers have this newfound appreciation for the blooms. They see unique pieces like this and they're like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And I want it in an
Put it in
arrangement.
my-
People come to the shop, and the beauty of having a space where they can come in and have that just like a feast for the senses and have these little interactions with the flowers. So whether they're buying flowers for themselves or someone else, we don't know what they like. We don't know the occasion wholly. We don't understand this connection. But they pick out these pieces and like, oh, I don't want to be annoying, but can you do this and this and this and put this together?
And you're like, please be annoying. If that's you being annoying, be more annoying.
Yeah. And it's like you make this arrangement and you're both kind of like, I remember I have this so frequently. I'm standing here with a customer and I'm like, do you see this? And they're looking at me and they're like, yes. And I'm like, I made that. I can't believe that I did.
She's
that.
modest.
Like, no, we're very good at what we do. I'm not going to be modest.
I love it.
But like, just like having that trust and having someone be like, this is what I like. These are things you've got on the bar. What can you do? You bring it together. And you both have this deeply emotional experience. Not only with me putting it together, someone tells me this incredibly emotional story, happy or sad, whatever. But
Everything's
based on,
connected.
based on what they picked out on the bar and what evoked joy and emotion in them and what I felt between them and the flower, myself, them and the occasion, I'm able to build this arrangement with these incredibly unique pieces that I get from the local growers that trust us and we trust. It's like, it's something, I mean, you know how I like to talk, but it's something that I can't put words on. Like,
Oh
it's
my
not,
gosh, Kate can't put words
Kate,
around something.
Kate is,
Wow.
Kate,
We've stumped
you guys
her.
on record, Kate has no words. But it's insane.
the inspiration that we get, because like, oh my gosh, day in, day out, to be creatively switched on and to be making arrangements for all these different reasons. It's really hard. Like, it's so hard to just be creating with meaning and creating well.
And emotion.
Like, because
Totally.
people aren't coming to us like flippantly for they're coming to us for a reason, and we're doing our best to put that meaning into the arrangement, but to the flowers that we get just inspire that as well. We have the connection to the flowers, so then we're able to put that back into what we're creating. We're able to work with the flowers, not against them, and it works so well.
Do you have any flowers that come and go with the season that you look forward to? Anything that you like? I mean,
Absolutely. Flannel flowers.
Oh my God.
We
Like
move
right now, peak funny season. Are you joking? That's stunning.
Stunning.
Like, I'm going to go back to what Jess just said, but working with the flowers, not against them. Alicia at Urban Connection Farm, she gave us like this beautiful last flourish of flannel flowers that she had. And let me tell you, these were some of the most unique and
wacky,
organic
that she was worried about because they weren't like staked correctly or like staked in time. She was panicked about being able to sell them and trying to figure out ways to get florists excited about them.
Enter Kate. At the end of harvest, Alicia gifted me these incredible stems. And I actually made an arrangement for Jess's mum because it was her birthday. And so I got one of these beautiful vintage vases and I made this really just insane arrangement of flannies. Because she also loves flannies. Like, it's got to come from somewhere. And she grows some really beautiful stems in her garden as well. But yeah, and it was just like so fun. In a bouquet, I can understand the difficulty. But just like having a moment with those really unique stems and being able to like, these are not stock standard straight easy stems to work with, but having that understanding for how to work with the stems and range with them and make the bunch still practical, easy for the customer to manage, and then enjoy making the arrangement myself. It's just, it's fun, but it's challenging.
My bunches that I had this weekend, sorry, bit of a tangent, but are pretty wild because I don't really have any focal flowers at the moment.
Yeah.
And one of the things I've got is jasmine that's flowering, like star jasmine. And so I have like pretty much all the bunches have these droopy bits coming out and like exploding everywhere. But then I wrap them up in a neat little brown package and people are getting them as a surprise.
They unwrap it and it's like, surprise! Yeah, very sweet.
We love our crazy droopy bits. They're so much fun.
But favourite flowers, it's hard.
It is. That's why we asked it in a few different ways.
Yeah.
To give you options.
And we've got like the little tin shed has been looking after us for a long time with their incredible dahlias.
They're amazing.
Stunning. And like in your delphinium, Katie, is just beautiful.
She's the Delph's queen.
Oh my goodness.
The length on those stems.
Yes.
I was working with Sam yesterday. We were working with them in this arrangement at White Barn. And we were like cutting them up and they were still so long, even after taking
but not too chunky.
That's what's game changing.
Yeah.
But there's an art behind what you do. I don't know how you do it, but damn girl, you do it well.
Okay, I want to veer us off this sort of topic and more into kind of helping growers with some info that they can take on board as far as selling to florists. Our podcast is obviously geared at growers, and selling to florists is so fun. Florists just get so excited about locally grown flowers and
as they should.
Cool flowers, the ones that I've dealt with. And you've told us what motivates you to buy locally. Source in so many different ways. You obviously source from the Sydney flower markets. You source from a local wholesaler. You source from the harvest where we sell and the little tin shed.
And directly from a few farms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you maybe tell us the difference between sort of more direct wholesalers and the Sydney markets and pros and cons, and start with that.
Yeah. So I guess our local growers, like immediately local growers like you guys from the harvest, it is a lot more seasonal. Like we can't get your flowers all year round. We would love to, but it just doesn't work like that. Just doesn't work like that. So we do need our growers who have been in the industry for generations and they know how to grow these stems all year round. And they have the infrastructure for that and they do an incredible job. But there are also, come springtime and when you guys are starting to sell and harvest your crops, those pieces are typically pieces that are a bit softer. They're not as sturdy. And if we were to grow that from our larger wholesalers, we're not, like the time from cutting to getting them to us, that's a much bigger gap with you guys. Like you are telling us when you're cutting them and we know how fresh they are and we know they are going to last. And they are those softer pieces that I don't think you can
hold over for that.
You don't mess around with it.
You need to be using them straight away so that the customer can get their full life from them. And they really do. And we have to be able to get your sweet peas and your pansies and all these incredible pieces that you can't get them from a larger grower.
The same quality.
With the same quality. The quality is just so incredible. So we can afford to get those softer pieces that we wouldn't typically be able to get from larger growers.
I think as well, sourcing those really unique pieces, if we were to go to Sydney outside of seasons, like the springtime seasons and your peak seasons for those, we'd only source them for events because they don't need to last. Whereas from a retail perspective, we can afford to buy those really unique stems because they will last.
Yeah.
We've had customers come in. Yeah. I've had customers come in and say that your sweet peas have lasted for 2 weeks.
And that is unheard of for sweet peas.
Absolutely unheard of.
Yeah.
Can I just say, we were having this conversation this morning because I noticed that a florist bought from me last week and I cut the flowers on the Sunday. And then I noticed her post, and the wedding wasn't until the following Saturday.
Yeah.
And it like freaked me out because we're so spoiled, I guess, by having these flowers right here. And I don't know, most people pick up stuff from us maybe like 2 days before an event, but that's not the norm. And we just need to like wrap our heads around that and not panic when we see people use our flowers like a week later.
Yeah, sometimes I'll put myself
how
into
fresh
such
they
a tricky situation with like trying to harvest at the very last minute because I want them to be as fresh as possible.
Yeah.
But then I'll be doing like, you know, doing it with my kids or like doing it in some way that like, oh, if I'd just done it 12 hours earlier, it probably wouldn't have made that much difference.
Yeah.
And it would have made my life a whole lot
Or
easier.
even like I will be up late harvesting the night before the harvest.
Yeah.
It might take me like 4 or 5 hours to cut everything. I could do that on Tuesday and Wednesday night, not just Wednesday night. But in my mind, I'm
That's
like, I need these to be as fresh as possible.
But that makes such a big difference for us.
I'm
that,
so glad.
That effort, like it does not go unnoticed. If we were to purchase flowers for an event from market like Sydney and some of those like significantly larger growers, the commercial growers, we go on Wednesdays. It's the big day.
That's why we don't have the harvest on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
All the florists, no florist is in Newcastle.
No, literally none. Say we go a Wednesday for an event the following weekend. We would never do that from Sydney. So we'd buy on Wednesday for events on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or sometimes even Monday if needed. From you guys, we easily could
hold them over in the fridge.
Yeah, because we understand how to care for them, obviously. Yeah. Whereas like these commercial guys grow on such a large scale, just need to chuck things in buckets, chuck them in the cool room. Yeah. They don't have the time to meticulously prep everything because we do that when we receive them. And even sometimes unwrapping bunches you've paid a couple $100 for.
Wholesale.
Wholesale. You unwrap them and you're like, oh, there's so much mold in here.
Yeah.
And that's a huge downside from Sydney.
Wholesale growers often don't strip stems, do they?
No, they never do. Never,
just
ever.
Wild to me.
See, it's such a treat when we go to harvest. We have got
I get why they don't.
Oh, 100%. It's just the mass that they're growing.
There's some things that I grow that I am like, With pansies, I'm like, I would cut the price in half if I didn't have to strip them. But they're so delicate that it's not that I don't trust you guys to strip them, but
okay, control issues.
I know, big time control issues. But I would feel bad if someone was like prepping them themselves and like snapped half of the stems because they didn't realize.
It's so hard. We lose so many stems. It's just,
I bet.
It's in your markup. Like you just have to accommodate for that in your costs. Because it happens.
Yeah.
You might like get a whole bunch of flowers from a commercial wholesaler or grower and like 2, 3 die, but the rest are so fine. You kind of sit there like, these are in the same bunch. How does this happen?
Yeah.
So like there's so many, I feel like there's an equal amount of benefit and downside. Or maybe not even. Like it's so good to connect with those larger growers. Jess has
you do need it just for like having a retail space.
Oh my gosh, just because we need that. We need that quality. Unfortunately, the unique organic stems aren't as easy to work with, and when we're busy, we need to obviously still have that care, but we don't have that time to work with those finicky stems. So we need to be like whack, 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 whack.
Yeah.
Obviously in a nice creative way, or even working on events, we need to know that we can rely on sturdy, hardy, straight, structured stems. And that's where, obviously not all the time, but that's where some, I feel so mean saying this.
No,
but like that's where some of the local smaller micro farms, small farms fall short.
Yeah.
Because we need
the sturdy
especially
stuff.
for retail, we
don't
need
feel bad because there is a place for literally all the growers. Like,
100%.
So we absolutely need the commercial growers.
Oh yeah, that's like we need the commercial florists.
Growers. Yeah,
we need these big florists.
Yes,
because not everyone wants what we want, and as much as that hurts, as much as I take that personally, it's true. You have customers come in. It doesn't happen very often because I think
we
people
have
understand
built our
the vibe.
Community, and people coming in generally know what they're coming in like for and what they're
they see our presence on Google and the reviews and just the generosity that people have poured into those, and they're like, oh, this is different.
smaller businesses, I feel like they're held to such a higher standard
Absolutely.
versus
You're so
the
right.
larger places, and is completely unfair. Like, I think that is when we have learnt this new phrase that we just call radical honesty.
Yeah.
We are just so transparent and so honest about the possibility of being able to source something in particular periods of time. And we don't promise anything, but we promise beautiful flowers. Like, we can't guarantee like specifics.
Yeah.
But we can guarantee like that what the end product is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't know how anyone can in this industry, even us as
No.
growers. When
Oh my gosh.
when someone puts a pre-order in like months in advance, they will say, looking likely.
We'll see what we've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, think of
If I've got it, it's yours.
And even a week
Absolutely.
before, I'm like,
yeah.
it's looking great.
Yeah.
Not like
Yeah, but oh my gosh,
100%.
it like hailed this week and it's gone.
Or like the night before, say, harvest, and you get a huge storm come
Yeah.
through.
Mhm.
That's significantly impactful.
And that has happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the floods that happened early this year, Mother's Day was so difficult.
Yeah.
We had
It was so
It was so
it
bad.
was so hard.
Yeah, we had to overcompensate and we lost a lot of stock behind the scenes because of the dampness and the
I'm
moisture.
not surprised at
and
all.
lose out any profit that you're getting.
Yeah. That probably 3 weeks leading up to Mother's Day, things.
Just wouldn't stop raining.
Yeah, it got really bad. Every year the quality decreases as the sunlight hours go down, but it was so much worse this year.
Yeah.
It was really hard. And I guess that's a huge risk that we take on in sourcing local, because we are really, the seasons really whip us into line. Where quantity impacts our sales. If we're not able to get enough flowers, we can't process the usual amount of orders.
Yeah.
And that's what we're really struggling with. Like, people would come in, we'd get flowers on Friday from Sydney, and those growers down south in the Central Coast. And then we'd have a big standard Friday. Come to Saturday, we've got absolutely nothing. And people would come into the shop and be like, "You're a florist. Where the hell are your flowers?" And what we were saying earlier with focusing so heavily on the flowers, it's so difficult when people come into a shop and there's
Not a lot
of stuff there.
Yeah.
And that's where that education
Radical honesty.
and
Radical
radical
honesty.
honesty comes in, because we're like, hey, look, this is what we do. This is who we are. Where I don't think we'll never differ from that, even for the sake of profit. Like, this is our ethos. This is what Jess has cultivated. This is what I strongly stand by and believe in. Like, we are local and this is just what it is. Calling up like in the morning, "Hi, can I please have 2 dozen red roses?" Well, actually, no, I'm really sorry, you can't. But we have some beautiful locally grown quicksand or Sahara. Incredible bucket roses. They're a beautiful color. I remember we had a regular customer come back and he's specifically ordered these roses because he used to request the red, and his wife fell in love with these local roses that we're able to provide. And it's like,
became so much more meaningful for them as a couple.
That's cool.
And
yeah, it was just so beautiful to see that appreciation. Like, oh my gosh, red roses is just like the
Default.
but actually, as the customer had found an appreciation for flowers, and particularly as a man falling in love with flowers as well alongside of his wife, was such a beautiful experience. And sharing that these are locally grown, these are who grows these, and they're like, oh my gosh, wow, these are really special. I'm not just supporting a local business, I'm supporting a local farm and a local family and local people. And that's really important.
Yeah.
So your relationships with local growers, what would you say is something or a few things, if there are a few things, that make you feel particularly looked after and make you go back to growers over and over again? And don't feel the need to use us as the example. Maybe even try and give us a perspective from a commercial grower as well as a small grower.
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is Tin Shed. Dan and Carly have taken so much care of us over the years and message us first when things come into flourish. Like earlier this year, they were growing Misty and they said, "Hey, in a couple of weeks we'll have Misty." And we said, "We will take everything." And they gave us everything. It came to the week and he's like, "I'll have more." And we were like, "We will take everything." And we'd order like bunches, quote unquote, and he'd give us buckets and there would always be more stems in there. He doesn't have to do that because, I mean, he just doesn't have to. He's a business.
Yeah.
Man, it makes a difference. And going out to the farm, having a conversation with another person who is just so equally passionate and joyous about flowers, in extension, coming to you guys, just having a gab. Having that human connection really breaks up the day, because retail, I love it, but it is tedious.
Yeah.
And it can get really monotonous. And ever since I feel like we've fostered these connections with these growers, it's elevated our experience as florists.
It's
and
expanded our workplace, really. Like, it feels like you guys are now our colleagues as much as
100%.
people in our
agree.
space
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. And I get really excited going to these things, going to you guys, conversing with you guys over socials, liking, commenting, sharing, like just having all of these little tiny connections and experiences online, in person. It's just like, man, we're all just people doing it. And that's, I keep saying it, but that's that lineage of love that's woven throughout the work that we do.
Yeah.
And like commercially, I love going to Sydney flower markets. We've scaled things back in the sense that we use a courier on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday because it's just too much for either Jess or I to go.
Yeah.
It's a huge wake up, and particularly when we work full time.
We're only able to do that though because of the relationship we've been able to build by going to the Sydney flower markets every single week for years on end.
Oh my God, it was
So
hard.
would you say the fact that you can use a courier is a way that growers look after you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because we message them, and sometimes we're humans. We message them like 4 p.m. on a Tuesday. Hey guys.
Yeah.
Hey, the trucks are already packed.
Yeah.
Hey guys. Hey. So this is what we'd like to order. And it's usually like several $100s worth of flowers. And they pull magnificent stems together. We use
And
like
they know what we
Geneva,
like.
East Coast, and Leoncino flowers.
Yeah.
Very regularly. Leoncino, wholesale and grow. Craig, East Coast, wildflowers, grow and wholesale, and Geneva, grow. Oh God, I love those guys.
Yeah,
because we're able to source those really cool, unique pieces similar to what you guys grow, but outside of your peak seasons.
Yeah.
And it's so, so gorgeous. And pieces like, I love Lysianthus. I love frilly Lysianthus.
Yeah.
Geneva grow the most incredible Lysianthus.
Yeah.
If you get them in the peak season, they're incredibly sturdy stems. They've grown roses. Like it's just great.
Like we wouldn't be able to necessarily get them from you guys because like I feel like Newcastle's quite a humid area and Lizzie's would be so hard and would be so prone to rot here.
And they're down in Bargo, so it's a completely different climate. And they're able to offer us what we can't source up here. They're just incredible.
They're doing
really take care
in
of
their
us.
own way. They are doing something special and they have their own ethos of what they're doing and they put themselves into their business just as much as you guys do. The people who are running the show, you see their faces at the markets and you're able to talk about what they're doing on their farms and what they're growing. And
I know all of their faces from their social media too. They're very good at putting themselves on social media.
Lawrence's video.
Yes.
I totally love so
great. He's such a sweet
person.
It's so wholesome.
And Craig, like he is amazing from East Coast. Like I feel like he's so local to us, even though you guys get them from Sydney. Like he'd only be less than an hour from Melbourne?
Yeah, that is something very frustrating as well. Some of our favorite growers are just on the Central Coast, but don't
sell from their farms.
Or direct to Newcastle.
Yes.
So we will have to go to Sydney to get their stock. Every single property that you own, every single region that you're from is going to cater to particular flowers so much better than the other one, or be able to grow things en masse in a particular variety so much better than someone else's. And even just within Newcastle, it varies so much, like what kind of soil you have. And we want you to specialize and find those unique things for you. That is so important because then you're going to be doing that as best you can and focusing on that.
And that's what we want.
And then we have enough volume to actually offer it.
Like I will say within the first harvest season, I think there were too many people focusing on the same flowers. And I get that. Like, and I think for the first year that worked because we were just grabbing everyone and we were taking it all as much as we could. But
And
as you grow and
you know
as
what?
you
You might
specialise-
find that again in summer,
Yeah.
because in summer there are fewer options that are easy to grow without infrastructure, which is why you see a lot of the same stuff
Yeah.
in summer. In spring, there's so much more variation because there are so many spring flowers.
It's spring.
Yeah, it sure is. In summer, it's a bit trickier, but this year we've tried with the harvest. If anyone listening doesn't know what the harvest is, it is a local grower florist hub that we've created where florists can pick up from one location from lots of local growers in one space. But with the harvest this year, we've tried to kind of collaborate on our crop planning a little bit and plan a bit more around that. Even if we're all growing zinnias, say, maybe we're growing different colours of the zinnias, or, you know, we've tried a bit more. Next year we'll try even harder and it will improve. But summer's tricky.
That's where that conversation between you guys and the florists are also really important, because I think you have asked us, oh, what are you looking for in the future? Or what are you looking for from us? Like I think when Katie asked me, I was just able to look at what you had provided us, and that was really lasting and really working, and I knew it was going to do really well for us. And I was just like, do that. Like, we want
more.
But more.
Yeah.
More. And same with you, like Sarah, and what you were doing and what we know, like what events we're going to have to cater for. And weddings that we're going to be doing. We want that, but more. And so
it feels greedy, but it's just when you've got a good thing.
We're greedy too, don't you?
Okay, I have a question that I'm super nervous to ask. And so that's, have you got any negative experiences that would not necessarily be like putting growers down, but things to learn from? Like where you've had flowers that haven't held up well, or like really stressed you out.
I think that is definitely, again, us learning, like, radical honesty. Like, it's so not personal. Oh, my goodness. And we see the passion and love from you guys and from all the different growers. And it's a big learning experience of how, once you sell it on to us, how it is going to be used and what time frame we're going to be needing to use it in.
Yeah.
So what stage it needs to be cut.
Yeah.
And we just got some beautiful flowers recently, some irises that were just cut just a bit too late, and then they just didn't hold up to that retail standard.
What type of iris?
Just your Dutch iris.
Yeah.
And I was just able to have an honest little conversation, and then the next time we had those irises.
Oh my gosh.
And they lasted 3 weeks. Like, oh my goodness. They lasted so well, and it was so incredible. It's just like learning from each other.
Feedback is so helpful, and it is it's on the person receiving the feedback. It's easier said than done, because
100%.
I've received feedback before that was barely anything. It was about pansies and vase life, and pansies have such a good vase life, and I'd said on my availability list up to 10 days, which is true, but in this case they didn't last that long, but it was because it was in November. It's hotter then, and maybe I should have adjusted my availability list to be less days later in the season. But she just said it as honest feedback, because she still had like 3/4 of them were perfect by the time the wedding came around. And she was another florist that ordered from me earlier than I would have thought the event was. But I literally still think about it all the time, and that's on me to not take these things personally, because it's not personal at all.
Yes.
And that was helpful information, because I do ask if I'm selling pansies because I've got this trauma in my brain. If I'm selling pansies and I don't know, I will always ask now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we can relate to that.
We make mistakes But we own up to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, but like we have had to learn that as well. Big time.
Was about to speak.
Because
We're literally holding hands right now. For our listeners, this is a traumatic experience.
but you grow from that. Oh my goodness, do you
It's
grow?
so hard.
And it's like, I think I also, I definitely took on, this was feedback that I learned from the Wildflower Academy. Like Ash, she gave this advice of just owning it. Own your mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree. It makes you feel better as the
Oh my
person
God,
who
it
made the
does.
mistake as soon as you verbalize it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you keep it in your head, it feels like a secret.
Yeah. And there are a million different reasons why something didn't work. But you definitely need to take it and own it anyway. Like you can give all the excuses under the sun, but there is still something that you're not going to learn and you're not going to grow from unless you take that on
Yeah.
and grow from that and really take on and own that lesson. Yeah.
And I think sort of relating it back to what florists can provide to you guys if we have a negative experience with flowers. I mean, just the radical honesty, having that conversation with you guys, meeting on a human level and being like, hey, look, this didn't go the way we thought it would. This didn't last the way we thought it would. This didn't look the way that we'd anticipated. Giving you this feedback with love and light.
And as much as we've just said we struggle with it, I would rather you tell me
Totally.
so that I know
for next time.
to check with florists how long the event is away from when they're picking up.
I have an example.
babe.
Had an order for digiplexes this week, and I hadn't planned to list it on my availability list because they were secondary stems. But yeah, she'd particularly asked for it, and I had 10 stems of all the one color, and then I had some plants that were like a little bit behind, and I was like, okay, do I give the straight stems of the slightly lighter pink, or do I give these stems that got damaged in the storm and are a bit wobbly so they're getting all the same color? And those sorts of things, I don't know. And I mean, I didn't hear anything back. And so I don't know what her preference would have been. And I could have done either. It wouldn't have made a difference to me. Like, I'm still just selling the same number of stems.
Will you ask for feedback?
I mean, I should. Do I get around to things like that? No, I totally should. And also, like, in the moment, I could have texted and asked, being like, okay, I have these two examples. What stems would you prefer? But just you're busy. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah,
and they're busy too.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't want to add admin to your plate, so I just try and make the best decision that I would want.
Oh, it is a tightrope.
Yeah.
It is such a tightrope, such a balance, because we are, as florists, running our little world, and you guys are running your worlds of your busy, chaotic lives. Like, it is that conversation that we're having right now, especially as you guys are growing, and we're always growing and learning. It's not a stagnant thing. Like, the bigger growers that we do buy from, like they have their tried and true formula.
Yeah.
They will still actually take our feedback whenever we have it, and they are so good at taking that on board. But look, they have also been doing it for most of the time generation.
Yeah.
I've just thought of another difference that will like impact this conversation with commercial growers. They're cutting constantly all through the week, so they don't have to make these decisions where they've got something that's a little bit more open than something else, or like a lot more open than something else, because they're constantly cutting, whereas we're cutting once or twice a week.
Yes. And I feel like sometimes I want to defend my flowers because I'm like, I wasn't actually going to advertise that I had that this week, but you asked for it. So I've tried my best to get it to you, like, and it's hard to work that out. And I mean, I feel like that is where communication just is needed.
And then there's on the other opposite side of the coin to that, this is an example from last week. I almost didn't send with Sam. He delivered to a florist in Sydney for me. I almost didn't send this one bunch of chocolate cosmos.
Oh, yum.
It was like the quality just wasn't there. I wasn't happy with it, but she'd specifically requested it. And I was like, I'll just send it and I'll charge it half price. And the next day, I saw on her Instagram story that it was the bride's favourite flower, and she'd been able to source what she thought was the only bunch of chocolate cosmos available in New South Wales. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Thank God I included that,
Yeah.
because that was the most important thing in that order that she placed. But I don't know that.
Yeah. They're the same. You guys are always going to be your harshest critics.
100%.
And I think unless you externalize that and get the feedback from us, and we'll also get the feedback from you guys on what's actually feasible in what time frame, when we should expect it, or we need to adjust our expectations. That's all part of that conversation.
Yeah. And it's hard because like sort of mitigating that feedback, because there's so much work that we do that we don't share with everyone, and that's unpaid and that's unseen.
Yeah.
And we
so
know
true.
that. We know that. Whereas we don't see that, and you don't see like, we don't see that with you guys.
No one
you don't
sees
see
it.
that with us. No one sees it. And it's always such a hard pill to swallow. Just learning.
Yeah.
Because you're like, man, I wish you could see how much this really means to me.
Yeah.
Like it's not, and it's such a, as Jess said, it's the tightrope. Again, my favorite word of the day, alongside many others, it's radical honesty.
Yeah. It is.
We can't emphasize that even more. Just
So
that
speaking of
loving
radical
human
honesty,
segue.
what's something that you wish that growers knew that would help you as florists, or that you wish that we understood? You can be as honest as you like.
I guess I think being the face that is selling to the customers, we definitely bear the brunt of their feedback. And it is like, I do find that we have to cover the cost of if something doesn't quite make it, or if we are then having to buy more because something's not as lush or as full as it would usually be.
For whatever reason.
Like,
and
we
it's so
understand that.
costly. We absolutely do. But it's something that it is so expensive.
Yeah.
So you're talking quality and longevity, but also size of the bloom in comparison to itself, not in comparison to other things, because you know what you're buying, but in comparison to that bloom at another time, or what it would actually be.
Definitely.
To fill up retail space in that bunch.
And because there are particular things that we have had to like kind of educate our customers in like, say like we're selling a bunch of pansies, and when we initially had something like that in the store, or even sweet peas, customers would be quite confused that like, oh, it doesn't last as long, or it's much smaller, much more expensive for the size and the amount that you're getting. Like that's something that we've been able to really communicate with our customers, and that's a lot of legwork on our part to then be able to like sell these products that I don't think would typically sell in a retail space.
No. It's difficult. We've certainly cut down recently on those like en masse speciality things, purely for the fact that right now in this context, that's not what people are looking for.
And I honestly get surprised when you order those things.
Yeah, but sometimes we just really enjoy them because we really
I know. And that's what I always think. Do the girls have an event on, or do they just need
like the most recent harvest
came back with so many flowers?
I think
yes, you really loaded up, didn't you? I
really did this.
It was a sexy haul.
It was.
It was just need to bring some like
new
life and passion into the shop.
Absolutely. Well, it was like that. I recently just shared with you a bunch that I made. Using
it made
your
day. I don't even think
and
I
your geum, and I had these tiny little scraps of like Gelder rose and lilac, and it was just like a hard week, and it was a week where I felt like all of my creativity had just been like used up, and I just saw these little pieces, and I was just like, I just need to make and feed my cup and create something that I'm going to be connecting with the flowers and I'm going to be able to get something from. And also, like, I did get those pansies that week because I do have a really big wedding coming up where I'm going to be using those, and to be able to work with them in my own time and just play. That play is so important in a creative career. You do need those moments of experimenting and playing with these pieces outside of just like making and creating just to sell and just on the go and feel like you're just like, you know, pouring your heart and soul into everything that you're doing and not getting that back.
Yeah.
Whereas when I'm just like, okay, I need what do you have? What's going to inspire me this week and what's going to feed my cup as much as like, because that is what fills our cup to be able to keep on pouring into our community and what we're doing and what we're creating.
It was such a joyous moment.
It was so beautiful and it made me so happy. Jess sent me this message with the video and it was so beautiful. Yeah. She was like, I have had a really hard week and I felt like I haven't had no creativity left, but you made me realize why I love my job again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just like
so beautiful.
With the connections that we have and the special and unique pieces that we're able to get from our growers, it really does. You find these moments where you do just fall in love with your job all over again. And that is so special. Like just having these sweet little moments, like it's just, that is really why you're doing it as much as it is a job and a career.
I love it.
I just remember when harvest started and it was such a weird time. Last year was such a big year for us both in business and personally, achieving huge milestones alongside huge grief and huge development. And then the harvest came around and the renewal that it brought us, it helped us fall in love with what we do and ourselves again. That's because of local flowers, special pieces that we can't get from wholesale growers. It's not just joy for you guys to bring to us and feel like, oh my gosh, look how cool my event is because of all these pieces. It's like, look how incredibly beautiful my life is. And look how much I can bring to someone who's grieving or celebrating or whatever. Someone who just needs to pick me up. Someone comes in and was like, I just work around the corner. I've had a horrendous week. I just walked in. I want some of these. I'd love some of these. Like, this reminds me of my grandmother.
It's like life-giving stuff.
Life-giving stuff. It's beyond money. It's beyond any of that. It's like, it's nurturing.
It truly is, yeah. And I think we've been able to create such a unique and special space and business that like can house that and hold so much space for that.
Which I'm sure you guys also understand.
And well, this is why you guys have won the yeah, you see where I'm going. Hype you up. The Little Garden are 2-time award winners of the Sydney Market.
So it's the Fresh Awards.
Yes.
Florist of the Year.
Florist of the Year. Do you want to say that again? Florist of the Year.
Yes, thank you.
I think the first year we won it, I was just absolutely dumbfounded, at a loss for words, and I could not actually accept it, and it didn't feel real.
That was a weird time. We had a wedding the next day too.
And you're just trying to process this.
I know.
We were like, oh yeah, let's go to Sydney in one night.
I don't think we really even we didn't process it.
No.
It was just like, oh my God, okay, whoa.
You probably wouldn't have been able to do the wedding
next?
if you had processed it right then.
Oh my goodness.
It was insane.
Made a note, and I'm going to have to read from it word for word because it was too much to remember. So how the award works, because I was like, okay, so you got Florist of the Year. What does that mean? How do they pick that? Applicants are mystery shopped 3 times in the 6 months prior and are judged on store appearance, customer service, quality, and freshness, and merchandising and branding, which that last one you guys would have knocked out of the park. You would have knocked all of them out of the park. But if anyone hasn't gone over to their Instagram yet, go to The Little Garden, where Cait, you manage the Instagram, don't you?
Oh, I sure do.
And she does a bloody good job of it. It's so gorgeous.
It's so hard.
Girl, I know.
Yeah.
I know. You guys look like you have so much fun.
But we do.
We really do.
It's true.
And I think like the more we've lent into just sharing more than The Little Garden is just a product.
Or an aesthetic.
It's like there's the personalities behind it as well, which really shine through.
What do you think sets you apart from other florists when it comes to the judging of that? All of those things.
Well, the category that we are finalists for have always been customer service. And then every single finalist within every single category is also in the running for the big prize, which is
The
Florist of the Year. And I think it definitely is that which we are just hold at our core, is this connection to our community. It's this really everyone that walks in the door has our attention, and we want to provide such a beautiful service to. And not even that, just share what we do. It is, and we are so excited about what we do and the flowers that we sell and where they've come from.
I just had a memory pop into my head.
Yeah.
When I first came to your shop, you weren't there, Cait, but
Devastating.
Jess was there.
I remember.
And
So devastated.
We walked in and there was another customer there. I was dropping some flowers off. And I remember like enjoying my experience before you even, like, you obviously acknowledged that I was there, but you needed to keep talking to the customer. I enjoyed my experience, like, of you giving that customer your customer service. It was so lovely and just fun to be around. It's a really great vibe.
Yeah.
Even if you're standing there waiting, it's fun while you wait.
We really deeply, really love what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we love
we
our...
really, we give a crap. Like,
Yeah, we really
do give
Too many craps.
Yeah,
No,
too many craps.
Too many
but-
sleepless nights giving a crap about what we do.
And I think, like, because I have early memories of walking into a flower shop with my mum and just how special it was. And like a florist just giving you a little offcut of something.
That's
and
my favorite.
and
thing.
they are like core memories, just
Yeah.
those really magical things that have sparked this love and passion for what you do. And then to be able to then pass that on to someone else is very special. Yeah.
I think there's nothing I love more than having a chat with someone. You don't really know what anyone's going through when they come through the doors, because we're all going through our own journey and experiences. And I think just giving someone the time of day and letting them know whether or not they actually buy anything, just letting them know that you give a crap.
Yeah.
is monumental. We have the sweetest elderly visitors that just come by. They either go to the cafe next door, or some of the businesses locally, they may not even buy a bunch of flowers, but they just come in for a chat. And it's so beautiful and impactful. There's this gorgeous gentleman who walks his 2 little fluffy white dogs every single day past our shop. And there's almost always like a 2-inch offcut that we can't put into anything, but I save them. And I give them to him every day, and I put it in his pocket. I don't know anything about him, but he is just, I just love saying, I hope you have a beautiful day.
Also, because the little garden and my rebranding and rebirthing of the little garden, when I took over it, it was born in COVID. Like, it was born in this period of time when, like, human connection was sacred and just so lacking in everyone's lives. And to be able to still play a role in that was really what kept me sane. It kept Cait sane. And like, we just were able to still feed this need within our local community. And to be able to see that and be a part of that in such a crucial point in our like own personal local history was just very important. And just knowing how, like, to be able to keep that going is really cool.
And I think what's really impactful about that period of time was people were buying, we were so busy. We were right off our feet. It was just Jess and I. This is like late 2020, early 2021. Like, it was still pretty rotten. And like we were all grieving as a collective. Like, it was just such a difficult time. And people were buying bouquets for maybe giving them a phone call, or dropping off bread or eggs or toilet paper or hand sanitizer. It was just the most simplest of gestures being celebrated through flowers, and us being a vessel for that and a messenger of love was like, this is special. And that's, like Jess was saying, that's what we've carried and continued on. And that's what's helped us grow to what we are today, because That's where we started, and that's what we'll never let go of. Is just the simplest of connection. And in extension, that's why it made so much sense for us to go local only, because having that connection with our community and in extension, our floral community with locally grown flowers, that's even more, I'm going to say it again, the lineage of love. It's embedded in what we do. And it just makes so much sense.
It makes so much sense. And it's so strange to me that it's possible to be a florist without knowing the growers of the flowers, but that's just a common experience.
It's like fast flowers, fast fashion, fast food.
Yeah.
We're slow. We're slow flowers.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about, which you did touch on earlier, but was about you planning to sell out of flowers.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that's something, through your social media that you do.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask, like, what's kind of behind that and how do your customers respond to that?
It's our regulars get it. They understand that. They walk in and they're like, I knew I should have pre-ordered. We know you guys are popular. We know you guys are busy. We know you work with fresh produce and this is the goal.
But it's definitely not what the standard customer expects. Flowers, flowers are expensive and flowers are a perishable good. You want to be buying fresh produce. And we do want that fast turnaround so that the customer gets to enjoy the flowers. It's not about it sitting in our fridge for as long as we can and then still being able to sell it. It's about sourcing these beautiful products and then getting it to you as soon as we can. We want to be able to sell out at the end of the week so that come Monday, clean slate. We don't have this wastage of stock.
Which then feeds into our sustainability.
Yes.
Because what are we going to do with dead stems? We just have to chuck them in the compost.
That's part of minimizing our footprint. And
so rather than ordering as much as you could possibly fit in your shop,
just doesn't make sense.
In the hopes that you'll sell it.
Yeah. And also, our flower turnover is huge, particularly in these busy periods. And purchase flowers and receive fresh flowers from our local farms, whether through those larger commercial growers or you guys. We go Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's how often we get flowers. That's what we pride ourselves on, is the quality of our produce. And it comes down to years of learning and wastage and understanding seasons and how things last. And people come to us, we might have, say, this year we got flourishes of dahlias earlier, much earlier than previous years. There must have been a little bit of heat at the end, in mid and winter. There's a lot of local growers now experimenting with hot houses and things like that, particularly for dahlias, because, dahlias aren't supposed to be cut or grown in winter. You're going to get a dahlia, you're going to bring that home. She's not going to be happy with her life. No. She's gonna die. And it's just been understanding how cut flowers react to environmental changes and ordering accordingly. If that sort of makes sense. And again, with what Jess was saying earlier, for you guys, Sarah and Katie, working with the flowers that you do best and honing in on that niche. I'm gonna say capitalizing on it, but truly capitalizing on that, because you offer things that we can't get elsewhere, and being able to sort of know that we can source from you. You have that profound understanding of the quality of your produce and having that relationship and being able to understand flowers more holistically rather than just seeing them as a product and something that we can just on-sell, something that's pretty, looks nice, takes up space. Just chucking it in for the sake of having it, that's not.
And without that relationship with the grower, you don't have the opportunity to ask questions that you may not already know the answer to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's just through years of trial and error, really.
Yeah.
It's so good to sell out because it knows that.
I think it's a great model.
Well, we want our stuff to be fresh. We pride ourselves on our quality. Our most common feedback is that the flowers last significantly longer than expected, whether it be the bush flowers that are naturally really hardy and dry beautifully and still look fresh as a dried stem, or the softer garden flowers. Hey, sweet peas lasted 3 weeks. What? We wouldn't have anticipated that.
Yeah.
But it also does then come down to how they've been cared for and the environment in which they're living in.
And the stage they were harvested.
Exactly.
That stem from Katie would have had, stems further down the vine that were already really open, and then the ones at the top would have been tight and then gradually opened over that period.
To have that knowledge and understanding of when best to harvest and
for
when
the
best
right
to cut the
customer.
flowers for the right customer.
For events, I try and harvest things that are, verging on as full as they're going to be.
Yes.
Whereas for you guys, I want
We
things
need
to
it
be
wet.
Yeah.
We need it
Yeah.
fresh.
Yeah.
And it's also joyous for us to watch them open up.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's so special. But yeah, just being able to have those conversations and relationships with you guys is so titular to what we do and why we do so well. We wouldn't do so well without our local growers and having these relationships, I don't think. Like, it's not just, obviously, we put a lot of effort into what we do, but it's not just us. It's community. We wouldn't be here without you guys. It's little.
So cute.
Well, yeah, in return, you guys are such an encouragement to us as well. Yeah, you make a big difference to both of our businesses.
Gonna make sure it works. If it can work, we're gonna make sure it works.
Yes, and we'll be obese fangirls, beast cheerleaders. Yeah.
What advice would you give to a grower who is looking to start to sell to florists? Or like if you had a grower approach you, I don't know, does that happen?
Because we actually did
we do.
recently.
Yeah, we
Can I
recently
speak
had
on that?
we had a backyard grower just
Incredible.
approach us.
Reach out. And I actually used their produce. I was very fortunate enough to do my cousin's wedding, whom I'm very close with. I used these snapdragons were insane. I got 20 stems, incredibly long, very full flourishes of snapdragons, this beautiful bubblegum pink. They smelt like Hubba Bubba. I've never had that experience with snapdragons before. And I used them in the wedding, and it was just such a statement piece. And they were so beautiful. They came and they bought us a bunch of poppies. They're like, hi, this is what we do. And I'm just like, look, it's scary, but you just have to try and reach out. Talk to us about if you do want to upscale. Ask us questions. Ask us what we want, and we will tell you.
And we were able to
already source. And you're not wanting to change where you source that from.
What we already have in abundance.
Yeah. But also talk to other growers. Don't be afraid to reach out. I think
this was definitely one of the first thing I told her was like, have you connected with the other growers? Like, do you know about the harvest? Do you are you following these girls on Instagram and like what they're doing?
Yeah.
And just everyone is just such an incredible support to each other.
The grower community is so generous. And even though your first instinct is to think that someone else doing what you're doing is your competition, especially in this industry, what we do, there's no possible way for us to be able to supply 100% to the florists in Newcastle. There's so much to go around.
That goes in turn for us with other florists.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
You guys sell out.
So parallel. But also what we do is inherently creative and subjective.
Yeah.
So we might have someone coming in and they want oris and jip, and we don't do that, or we can't supply that. And then we offer a handful of incredible, beautiful local businesses. Where we can't fulfill something, we are more than willing and more than happy to pass you on and give you the numbers of other people.
We do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because it just makes sense. There's no room for growth in such a competitive space.
If you're just trying to get every single sale and just make it work, you're going to be cutting yourself short. So, but then to be able to pass the right customer on to the right florist, just if they're not right for you, like it's just going to work out for everyone. Yeah.
We had a really beautiful florist who was down the road from us in Belmont, Ash at the Wild Pose. She's an incredible woman. But what she did was so incredibly different to what we did. And we would constantly be calling each other and messaging each other and passing people on. And we were like maybe 500, 800 meters apart. Like that's what we do. I love it.
And actually I delivered to her once and she was like, oh, did you know the girls from the little garden? Like there was no
hesitation.
Exactly.
And that's what I love.
She wanted to share that resource. Make sure you tell it to them too.
So do we, because someone's like, oh, I'm just like looking for a birthday present. Like, have you seen Ash? And they're like, who? And I'm like, go down to see Ash. She has the most incredible collection of pieces.
She built this brand and this aesthetic, and that's what some people are looking for versus what we offer.
Yeah, because not everyone wants what we want, and as personally as I take that, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay because I don't walk into like a shop and buy something at every single shop I walk into, and I need to remind myself that. And I guess that's something as growers, it's good to remind yourself as well.
Yeah.
But it's also personal because you really give a crap about what you do.
Yeah.
And you just want everyone to feel that from your product.
Yeah.
And have that same connection. But it's inevitable that that's not the case.
Well, we've been talking for maybe 2 hours, so this is going to be interesting to edit.
Oh my goodness.
Very interesting to edit. I hope everyone knows how to use the 2x speed feature on the podcast app. Where do you see the business going from here? Are you happy with where it's at? You're obviously always growing and changing. Have you got a 5-year plan?
Well, yeah, like we're
World domination.
You imagine the little garden?
my goodness.
Ooh.
No, I think the little garden has definitely reached a special stage, and we're constantly growing and evolving, and that is like good business. You're always finding those little places that you need to improve or holes that you need to fill. But I think like right now for the little garden, we've got some really exciting rebranding happening and
New website.
New website,
New socials.
and some really cool stuff happening for us. And it's all about it is ultimately about making it just that little bit easier for us, because we work tirelessly to make the little garden happen and cater for everyone and all of our customers. So it's about like making it work for us as well as for everyone else around us.
And I think moving forward, working more closely with Jess as to how I can make that happen, and we can sort of let ourselves flourish alongside the business. As just said, in such a good space. And we've got such an incredible team. And they, particularly over the last few months, have really held us up.
Yeah.
And, like,
we've had so much going on within ourselves and our personal lives that where we really have had to like rely on all of the team members, and where we have at different times had to take steps back but then like steps like really investing in the business, but then also realizing you just can't keep on working on work all the time. You've got a life, and you've got like families and personal lives that you
It's
need
amazing that you've
a lot of
created
tending
that
to.
because so many small businesses don't have a.
So like,
Oh yeah, there's definitely been times where like we've learned the hard way when I was talking about that play in business and how important that is. You really do need to be filling your cup in order to keep on giving, because we can be so prone to burnout when you're running your own business. And just remember to find sustainable ways of doing what you're doing, not just like give.
And so that you don't become resentful.
Yes,
of course.
that is
also,
definitely a part of like why the little garden is what it is. It's like oh my goodness, like you do see people who've been in the industry for some time, and you understand why they are exhausted and resentful and
burnt out for years.
Yeah, where it's definitely a priority of ours. As like we've learnt our boundaries, and we've tested where they are
through pushing them.
And now we've been putting in place these boundaries, and they are so helpful.
We had a couple of quick questions to wrap up the episode, which one of them was favourite flower, which I feel like we've covered in the both of you. It's final flowers.
Yeah, we did have a little.
I'm a Cymbidium orchid girl.
Okay.
Oh,
You've got your tattoo.
I also have a bonus question that I've thought of. How do you feel about growers that also sell retail, which is what I do?
Great question.
People ask me all the time of like, oh, do florists want to buy from you? Do they care that you also sell to the public?
I think if I just the first thing to come to my mind, and what we've sort of expressed, there's so much room. For it's an inherently creative industry. It's subjective. People have different experiences and connections with different art forms. It is an art form. So people come to us because they like what we offer. They like our
Yeah.
experience. People
And actually,
And the
you couldn't
service.
be
Yeah.
more different from the service that I offer, which
Yeah.
is an honesty stand where most people that buy from me have never seen my face. They
Yeah.
would have no idea who I am if they don't
Yeah.
follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
So like we're actually polar opposites.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And you know, like you don't have the costs of
Yes.
managing staff
totally.
or a physical retail space.
And also where you're located. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not like you've parked up down the street from
Yeah.
a retail
In our
flat.
car park.
Like, that would be a whole different story.
It's also different customers. Like
Yeah.
someone who's going to go into your retail shop is a different kind of person that's going to buy from a roadside stand.
Absolutely.
Or even directly
Yeah.
from a farm. I mean, Tin Shed sell flowers to the public as well. But
Yeah,
it's
they have
just-
their honesty box at
Yeah.
the front as well.
And I think that's fantastic. Like
That's good to know.
yeah, I mean, I think Jess and I have always been very incredibly supportive of everyone in the industry.
Yeah.
We're so fun. And we're so lovely.
And you are so fun.
We are so fun. But like it's there's so much room for so
Yeah.
many incredible creatives.
We should also say for anyone listening who is feeling like they don't have the same sort of community that we're talking about, we are particularly lucky in the Hunter. We're in this amazing hub of, I mean, it's a hub for so many things. It's a hub for weddings. It's a hub for creativity. It's a hub for people who appreciate sustainability.
Mm.
I've spoken to some growers who are in like particularly rural
It's hard out
settings,
there. Yeah.
and it is a different ball game, and there's more competition because there's less people, there's less customers. So if you're listening to this with a sour taste in your mouth, like what are these people talking about?
Just move to Newcastle.
That's the solution.
Sorry.
No, we are privileged to live in the
Very
area that we live.
Absolutely.
But there is enough room for everyone.
Yeah.
Mm.
And like connecting via like social media, and like there are so many incredible online platforms as
Mhm.
well that
Utilize it.
that's how we've been able to discover so many of our local florists and
Mhm.
like florists and growers and everyone in the industry. It's just this wealth of knowledge that everyone pours out there and able to discover it and share it with people.
And I think if you're listening and you have this feeling of competition with someone near you, I would challenge you to try to befriend that person.
Absolutely.
Become their friend. Like, technically, Katie is my competition, but I do not see it that way. And neither does she, I hope. No, not at all. I'm just going to say it again. There's enough room for all of us.
Yeah.
And being friends with your competition takes away that negative feeling that you have. And I still instantly, when I see a new local grower, maybe they're growing something similar to me or the same as me, my instant gut reaction is competition. And then I have to talk myself through it. And
I guess understand where that comes from, right?
and that's just a human reaction. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
Don't feel bad if you do feel that way.
Yeah. Like 2.5 years ago, we moved shop locations, and within 6 months of moving, 2 other florists popped up in Belmont.
Mm.
And that was like, I remember there was just this brief moment of being like, oh my God, like, yeah, like this instant competition. But then you just took that step back. You assess what you're doing and your motives and your ethos. And then you realize that, like, oh my gosh, we shouldn't be seeing ourselves as competition because
You have to just rationalize.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And reaffirm that what I guess the support from our community and the community that we've built and what we do and what we offer and in all its uniqueness, I think, and just remind yourself of
Yeah.
what you've worked toward and how much it's worth it.
Well, we have customers come in and say, oh my gosh, are you worried about competition like down the road? I'm like, no.
They do something
Like
different.
they do something different, and there's a place for them just as much as there is a place for us.
Yeah.
And also, like, the more that we are like really get alongside each other, the better off we're all gonna be. You know, like that a rising tide lifts all
Yeah.
ships.
Yeah, it
like
does.
we are, like, you can see it so tangibly in the Hunter and Greater Newcastle region. Like, it's just it's a really it's a thriving industry at the moment. And
in its diversity.
Yeah, like all of these businesses are creating their own stamp on the industry, and it's providing like space for growers to be doing their unique products and not just the stock standard. And that's really cool.
And that's such a cool way for us to be able to set ourselves apart.
Yeah.
And a reason to be little growers. I mean, little in the scheme of things. If we can find things that are different, and then there's people that's going to appreciate that.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us on this lovely Sunday, this long lunch.
We knew it was going to be long. I'm surprised it hasn't been longer.
Oh dear.
We knew we would be ranting for a while.
Just gabbing.
Where can our listeners find you and support you?
Yes, so you can find our brick and mortar store at shop number 5, 600 Pacific Highway in Belmont. We're tucked away in this gorgeous little courtyard just off the highway. And please come into our beautiful little space. We do also have our new website we're just about to launch in the next week or so. And oh my goodness, now Instagram, if you want that beautiful feed coming up on your social medias, please follow us there.
At _little_garden AU, one word.
Yeah.
Or Facebook, The Little Garden. You'll see our Facebook.
You can also just search The Little Garden
Belmont
and it will come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and thank you so much, girls. It's been so lovely to chat and get to know you a bit more as well ourselves.
I've learnt so much today.
Likewise.
Oh, it's been such an honor. Like every time that we gather and just talk about and get so excited about what we're doing, I feel like we're just leveling up and growing amongst ourselves.
It's very beautiful. To have something like this is so incredibly special. So thank you for establishing this and inviting us to be a part of it. We're very honoured.
You are so welcome. Well, make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening so our episodes drop into your feed, and follow us on Instagram where we share even more blooms behind the scenes. And if you're lucky, we might even show you the weediest corners of our farms.